Hi, everyone. This is Michael Conan representing the TooMedToo Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is episode, I think, 21 of the Septic Tank. I have more news about Computergate 2020 on my end. I'll get into that a little bit later for those of you who I haven't been informed of it in what's transpired in the last, I guess, day or so. But yeah, let me just get everything all set here and ready to go. We're doing a couple minutes earlier today because there was a couple of friends that the 10 o'clock time is a little bit late for them to stop by. So I did it a little bit earlier so that possibly, they'd be able to hop on for a few minutes beforehand. But we'll see. I thought I had shared on here this for anybody that wanted to hop on. Because you know me, everybody's welcome. Whether we see eye to eye or agree, disagree, whatever it is, I'm always willing to listen. And now it won't post on there. I don't know how to get it to go back over. I think if I do that, I'm going to kick myself out. Guests. No. I'll get it to work somehow. That's not right. That's general settings. This happens all the time. You think I would know what to do by now. But it never seems to work that way. I'm trying, and all I'm trying to do is get the link for y'all and post comments. Keyboard. It won't let me post to the keyboard. Huh. Okay. I just found something new too. It won't let me read from the Facebook group or the Facebook profile, but it will let me read from the Facebook page, which I don't know where I have it going. And then it won't let me use my clipboard over here. So that's a little bit even more perplexing. Why it won't let that work? Maybe if I just... All right, that should work now. We think, we hope, we shall see. So that's not right either. We'll get it going, don't worry. More. Post comment in the comment. It won't let me leave it in the comment. That is really weird. I don't know why it won't let me do that. Like I'm trying everything. All right, who do we got joining us? Oh, Earl Farm Boy, how do, sir?
Michael, right here, brother.
You are very quiet. Like I can barely hear you.
Any better?
I mean, I can hear you, but I can't hear what you're saying. I can just hear something, but I can't tell what it is. Oh, I'm not even on camera. I don't know if you're using headphones. Let me make sure my stuff is all the way up. We got a couple other people in the chat. They're kind of quiet though. But if you can hear Real Farm Boy, let me know. Make sure it's not something wrong with my end. Hello, Rural. I cannot hear you. I can hear noise, but there's just no volume there. So I'm not sure. Maybe try going out and coming back in, or turn your volume all the way up. I don't know if you're using. Do you have it on speakerphone? If you're using your phone, put it on speakerphone. If you don't have headphones for it, make sure that's on there too. Oh, I just heard something. You changed
Right?
something.
Am I good now?
You're good now, yes, sir.
Okay. Headphones
How?
out.
All right. That's you know what? I'd like to say I wish this was a high quality production. Um,
Tis
you know,
what it is.
but it's not. It's friends talking to friends and doing
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
It was brought up to me like, oh, you have a show, haha, nobody cares, over some bullshit this week, and I was like, yeah, it's for me, and my friends to talk to each other and do stuff, and um,
Please. This is the way.
uh,
This is what.
I mean that's what it's all here for, just to have fun and do what it is that we do.
Yep. Yep.
So, as any of you that are in the chat know, there's not many people in the YouTube chat right now, but I do have quite a few either watching on Facebook or watching on Twitch, because my little eye count is much higher than what the YouTube is telling me, which is fine. Wherever people are gonna do it, and I'm not gonna drive people to go to YouTube for me to make an extra quarter every day. Let's You want to watch it on Facebook? Go ahead and watch it on Facebook. Just so you know, if you're watching on Facebook, your comments do not show up. That is the only issue. I'm trying to work on that. Someone, my buddy Mike from Queens was trying to was watching on Facebook and trying to communicate, and he had probably 20 messages, and I feel bad because I couldn't see them, but I clicked on something I never clicked on before, and it told me that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting messages on the Facebook group or the Facebook profile, only on the Facebook page. So that I got to look into to see what to do. But pretty soon I'll probably be going on to Live It doing this too, because that's something new that I got into, where I can just do more streaming and just talking about whatever. And, it's a different group of people to communicate with. Just get more Star Wars out there to more people. And I've been hanging out it's like Instagram Live, but not just anybody can go on there and stream. Well, you can, but no one will watch you, or no one gets notified that you're on unless they're actually following you. But it's like Instagram Live or whatever, so I can just go and talk about whatever. Then people come on and they interact with me, like that. So, and it's one of those things that's actually it's for like artists. So like I shouldn't say it's for, but a lot of people, like, they're artists, so you watch them doing their drawings and their paintings, and talk to them while they're doing them, or people are singing and playing instruments, or people are doing DJ stuff. And there's a few other ones that are just kind of like podcast shows. There's just people that are podcasting and just talking. And I figured that, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I like to talk, and I can talk about anything. And like a lot of times on here, I end up repeating myself because whatever I'm talking about now, somebody else pops on, and I tell them again at 10:30. Then Patrick will hop on when he gets out of work at 11, and we have the same discussion. But it's fine because I don't mind having the same conversation on my end with somebody else when then it's with a different person, because I talk about whatever it's going to be with Rural Farm Boy, and then one of the Kyle Customs, Kyle Flores or whatever comes on after you're gone, and we talk. Now I have what I talk to you about, plus I have your viewpoint or vantage point, to kind of maybe think about, or maybe I learned something or think about something differently. And then they come on, I have the conversation with them too. And then so it's whatever you were thinking and talking to me about, and then going back, oh, we lost Rural Farm Boy. Going back and then, just doing the same thing over. And that's why sometimes the show ends up being 4 hours long or 5 hours long. I was hoping we were going to have a Mandalorian trailer to talk about tonight, but now my question is, and this is what I posed to a few people that were, seem to be in the know, I guess. The Mandalorian trailer, it was rumored to come out, and anywhere between, some Star Wars friends that were saying it was coming out during the NBA Finals this weekend, and that it was going to be today because of, the Lakers. I don't even know who's playing the NBA playoffs right now. So,
me neither.
And then, so it was going to be today because that for ratings, that's what it would be. But now you have, or it was going to be yesterday. It was going to be yesterday. Because now you have DC fan, whatever it is, going on today. And we got some real, if you're a DC fan or just a fan in general, that's, I was in a couple chats earlier today. I was in Nerd Reactor and Nerd Report and Grey Council and talking with those guys. Well, I wasn't in the chats. I was in the chats, not, in the tank. And just, I could give two shits about the Snyder Cut. If it comes out, I'm going to watch it. But if it doesn't come out, it's not really going to bother me at all. And then there's a lot of stuff I like, a lot of shows that are out there that I didn't even know about, that are on the WB, or I guess DC has their own streaming service, which now it's going to be going over to HBO Max. And there's a lot of shows out there, Titans or something like that, or Teen Titans, or maybe I'm mixing up cartoons and whatever it is, I don't know. But it's like some of this stuff actually looks pretty enjoyable. And I was like, I never knew about this because, I'm just not in the know about it. But now they had this thing for the, these diehard fans, and now I caught a glimpse of it. It's like, oh, maybe I'm going to check some of this stuff out. And, now I'm going to have to get HBO Plus, which is fine because I just canceled my Star subscription. Rural Farmer, what do you have for streaming? You got Disney Plus?
That's pretty much the only thing I got for streaming is Disney Plus. Okay. I started out 2 years back. I went around 2015. I took and stepped a foot to Supergirl. And was on the CW, pretty sure. I kept with Supergirl for all season, mostly the second season, and I don't know, but I put it down and never back. But because the story weren't it was good, probably because my playlist my own way. I can't go and playlist down. That yeah. I think I got in my own way that, but Supergirl's up to, I would say, season 5, maybe 6, and I'll bet that there's damn good stories that I'm missing. I should get and keep up on. And there's also in relation to the Flash, because they cross-streamed somewhere in the middle of Girl season 3, I think.
Because there's another new one that's out that Lunga had been talking about, Stargirl or something like that. And I went to go start watching it, and Danielle's like, I want to start watching that too. And normally we don't watch anything together like that because she's not into superhero stuff. But she was like, okay, now it's just trying to figure out a time when we can, pull it together and we can watch it.
Is it also in relation to Stargirl?
I don't know what it's about. Lunga's been talking about it, how it's one of his favorite shows on TV right now. And I went to go start watching it, and Danielle walked in the room, and she said, "Don't start watching that without me." And that was a week or two ago. And then we went to go start watching it again, and something happened. I don't know. But it's just for us. It's just kind of weird because a lot of stuff we don't watch together, and I'll be honest with you, it's one of my guilty pleasures when she's watching her Vanderpump Rules or Housewives or whatever.
I don't know what that is.
It annoys her because it's reality TV. It annoys her because I don't pay attention enough for a lot of times to know what's going on. But it's just like she'll try and describe something, like she'll be like, oh, and she'll name somebody's name. It's like, I don't know who you're talking about. And, it's like, you need to, explain it to me like I'm a moron. I mean, I am a lot of times, but, it's like, you need to, like, whatever, the stereotypical thing for that person is, or the easy way to identify them. With like, I don't need to know their really who they are, what their name is, but give me descriptions for characters, whether it's, the short one, the fat one, the tall one, you say the blonde one and they're all blonde, so it doesn't really help. It's like things like that. The doctor, like things that, that like somebody that doesn't really pay attention would know. And she'll have them on and I'll be on I was going to say on the computer, but I'll be on the phone or whatever, trying to do things and get whatever going on. And I'm be listening to a podcast in one ear and in the other ear listening to that. But, my attention, it's like my attention's half on the podcast, half on whatever I'm doing on the phone, and then a little bit on, whatever it seems to be.
Also said, squirrel.
Yes. Then but then it's also, it's like, wait, or whatever. But if she watches a couple episodes without me, I don't even really notice. But like, something like that, it's just kind of hard because we need to both be able to pay attention. And if I'm trying to get something set up or trying to do some research or, I have a lot of stuff I need to do, before Tuesday. I have a book I have to finish reading before Tuesday, and I have to do a review on it before Tuesday. I might do a non-spoiler review and put that out on Tuesday, and then see if one of my friends or one of our friends, that if we can coordinate something to put something together, because it's like I had a lot of fun with the one I did with Johnny the other day. That's the second or third time I've done something like that with him, and it just seems to be a lot more fun.
So where the hell Peter and Eden?
I don't know.
No, me neither.
I talked with him. I talked with him earlier. I didn't talk to Eden, but I talked with Peter earlier, briefly. It's like
maybe they're busy.
Well, he said he had a really long week. That
he did. He really did.
So he would, he'd try and come on, but whatever. But that's how it is. I know that's how it is a lot of times. Because he's back to work now too. So that's the other thing. I'm still not at work. I'm still home. So I have a lot more free time or hopping into other people's chats or groups, or going with the Great Council and hopping on there and having a chat, whether it's an 8-hour chat until 5 in the morning, which I got in trouble for that one because
Oh boy.
well, I thought it was going to be his normal
Mhm.
1 hour chat on that he does, and I was just like, okay, fine. I was going to do his 1 hour chat, and then it turned on to even more and even more, and then you had, it turned on being, I I never realized it when I put it. I put it was um
5 hours.
it was almost 8 hours.
Oh
Um,
jeez.
but I put it was a mega instead of a mega. So not an
Mhm.
MAGA, but an MEGA. So it was a megapod, not a megapod. But I
Oh,
didn't even realize that when I typed it in. And then so it's like I think somebody joked about or left. Hey, we got Beyond the Blast Doors stopping in and saying hello.
is that it?
I don't know if it's David. David,
I'm
did you get
pretty sure it's David.
well? Well, he's been without power. Um, that's what Pete said last night. He's been out without power for a little while. So if he's here, that's great. Maybe it's Pete. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody else. Who knows who has control
Well,
of that?
there's of them, so and
Yeah.
anyone it might be Andy. It could be Josh, but my money's on David. So David, if you're around there, buddy, David Amawati, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, David, if you're there, man, I hope everything's going well for you. I know it's been a little crazy.
Seconded.
I know it's been a little crazy. You got hit with
Mother
some.
Nature don't play around. She does not play around. She comes straight at you.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. This is why I never speak ill of women. Mother Nature's, yeah, don't let her hear you. She'll smack you up inside your head.
Well, that's uh, one of the people
Who's
I've
that?
met through. Well, I actually met her through Lunga, but she's on Livet, and she has another person from Livet that comes on there on Fridays, and he teaches Japanese. So I've been picking up, a couple things here and there, and Danielle was getting annoyed with me because I said something. I just kept saying, I learned this word, and it was funny because they were going over food, and it was like tomato in Japanese is tomato. Um, Lettuce is latisa. Like a couple of funny things like that because they didn't have these words in Japanese language until they started melting with the explorers or the Europeans or whatever you want to call it. And so it's just so funny that some of them, they're the exact same. They just kind of have a little different pronunciation on them. But yeah, I
Oh,
mean, so
geez, Michael, you're saying Dave from Japan, and that's making me think
no,
of
not Dave from Japan.
Dave Hackerson, a friend
That's not.
to a
I know.
friend to a friend to Tumble and Saber. If you know
Okay.
who Dave Hackerson is, I know who
I
Dave is because
I do not.
ooh, okay,
Um,
yeah, Dave Hackerson. He was born Midwest and he moved over to Japan and is a huge Star Wars fan, and he's still over there in Japan. Um, Only way I know this is because I'm also a Patreon of Tumbling Saber, which Dave also is and has talked with Kyle through powerful friends, which is what Tumbling Saber's Patreon is called. Dave is pretty long-winded, and he's just the best. I don't know how to say it in any other way. And if you're not familiar with who David Hackerson is, I'd recommend you friend him. Really good guy.
Well, all right.
Really good guy.
I will look into that.
Yep.
But yeah, so what I was saying is, so Danielle's like, oh yeah, ask him what's Japanese for pick up your Star Wars shit that I asked you to yesterday. And I said, hey, can you, Danielle wants to know what, and the answer was a slap to the head. So I didn't get so the Japanese, the Japanese saying for pick up your Star Wars shit that I told you to pick up yesterday is a slap to the head. And it's still not letting me do this clipboard here to get this on here. But yeah, we so everybody that's in the chat, we think it's David. We don't know. They just said hi and didn't say anything else. We got Kylo Customs here. Dale is in here. Dale's trying to figure out who's here. He went and named everybody, except he didn't name the Bomb Bad Boys. But Kylo, if you want to hop on here, I sent you the link an Instagram message in case you want to hop on here. But yeah, so anyways, well, all right, so I don't even remember the hell I was talking about. But so GameStop finally calls me and they're like, listen, corporate decided to scrap your computer, so you have this credit for it. And I was like, well, no, the last thing they told me is that they were going to fix it. Well, they can't fix it now. So they went to go fix it, and that took over a month. And then they fried the motherboard, so they had to get a new motherboard. And when that happened, they offered me a new computer, but the ones that they were offering me to trade it for were, instead of being $2,500, were like $1,500. And I was like, well, no, you're giving me a smaller one. It's not as fast, doesn't have the blah, blah, blah. And then so finally, this went on for like a week. And then finally, that's when they told me they decided to scrap it. So they scrapped it, and they were going to let me get this other one, which is a little bit of an upgrade to keep the same screen size. It's a i9 processor instead of an i7, and it's I think it's a 2080 Super instead of a 2060 Super. So it's like 25% faster graphics card. And it's like, okay, fine. That's great. You're letting me upgrade and do this or whatever. I would have rather had my computer fixed and I'd have it be 2 months. So I go there and the guy puts all my information in and we go to get the computer and he can't order it. And then whatever the problems were with ordering it, it kept kicking him off and kicking him off. And then after about an hour, he went to go order it, and then it was sold out. And then as soon as it was sold out on the computer, it was sold out on my end on the phone because I was doing everything on my phone too. And then we went, then we spent another hour trying to find a different one. And I can't get anything that's the same screen size. I have to go with a smaller screen size. But we're trying to, that's the whole thing. You drop down the screen size, it changes the price like $200 or $300, makes it $200 or $300 cheaper. Well, to keep it the same price, then you can get an updated or a better processor or better graphics card, and then that's an extra couple $100. So it kind of equals out in price, and that sold out. So basically, my only two options right now, and you got to remember, I specifically bought this computer so that I could upgrade it to 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is fucking like, that's why I'm having such a problem doing anything with it, because they don't make laptops that fast. The highest they normally go is 32. So that's why I'm having a problem like going with a bunch of your other top of the line computers because they only go up to 32. Well, they've had my computer and all the fixins. I'll pull a roll of Farm Boy. They have my computer and all the fixins for so long, I can't return the stuff back to Amazon because it's past the return period.
Like
So
2 months.
yeah, a lot of your computer equipment and stuff like that, you can't return after 30 days or 60 days or whatever, but it's been over 2 months. So it's like I can then go, like I can get then an Alienware computer, which is actually better than mine, but I won't, and that has like 32 gigs of RAM, but I can't upgrade to the 64. And then I have my 2 drives I have sitting there to upgrade it. So it's going to be, 4 or 5 terabytes instead of the 1 terabyte it came with. And the RAM, now those are useless because I can't put the RAM into it because it won't take it. And the drives, they won't take the drives without an adapter. And then if you use the adapter, it makes it not as strong or not as powerful. So it's pointless to put in a $300 drive and then have to put in another $50 or $100 adapter, and then it's only worth half of performance wise. So that's where I'm kind of getting screwed. Otherwise, I can just kind of take it and try and sell the other stuff on eBay, but that's really a crapshoot too because then you got to sit there and wait for the price or whatever. So I don't know. My 2 options right now are shelling out an extra $800 and getting a computer, the same model computer, but it's a smaller screen and a better, it has some better features on it, or just trading it in for the same computer with a smaller screen. But it's like I lose, the extra money I paid for that bigger screen, the extra $300 or $400 it was for the bigger screen, it's just kind of a wash. So that's where the dilemma is. So if somebody wants to send me $1,000 super chat, go ahead and feel free. No, if somebody's gonna send me $1,000, don't do a super chat or Patreon. I'll give you my Venmo because that way they don't take anything out of it. But yeah,
I'm doing my best as a top tier Patreon.
Well, Rural Farm Boy, if you can't send me $1,000 right now, I'm kicking you off the stream.
That mean I'm banned?
Maybe. I don't know. You can't ask to be banned.
I didn't ask. Or did I? Maybe I did.
So now I'm just kind of having the dilemma, like, what do I want to do? And
hey, Chris King.
Oh, Chris King is here. He almost got banned today.
He did?
Because of
Where?
Because of Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go with the smaller one. Everything else is the same. It's just a smaller screen, and that's the other thing that really fucking pisses me off. It's their fault because they fried the motherboard
twice.
Well, it's at least once. The second time might not have been them frying it. It might have been them deciding that it's going to be too long for the parts to fix it. Because that's the problem they're having with MSI. Everything that they're getting, that Best Buy is getting from MSI, is back ordered. Because probably during COVID, when everything was shut down, they couldn't make any computers, they couldn't do anything. So now they're months behind. They don't even have the parts to be sending out to fix things or whatever. So they might have only fried the motherboard once. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. But you'd think they broke the computer, but I had insurance for it. So that's why I get to be swapped out. But now when I get my new computer, I have to buy the insurance again because they already used the insurance once to swap it out. And it's like, but you guys broke it. That's why I had to use my insurance for it. And they're like, well, that's why you had to have insurance.
What's an MSI?
MSI is just a type of the manufacturer.
Okay.
You have like Apple, you have Dell, MSI. MSI, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they pretty much only do gaming computers. And
Oh, okay.
but they have, you know, laptops for gaming computers that go
Mhm.
anywhere from, you know, $800, $900 to $4,000 or $5,000. Um,
Wow.
you know, well, because where you get really into it is your graphics cards. Like I think the one mine had, I have to double check, but I think the one mine had was an RTX 2060. And if you were just going to go to the store and buy that, I think that's like 350, between $300 and $400.
Okay.
And then you go up to like a 2070, and that's like $700. And then you go to like a 2080, and that's like $1,000. And then in between there, you have supers or Qs or whatever, you know, just little things in there to hook it up and do whatever. You know, which changed a little bit more, and it's like, I was actually they offered me this one computer, and it was an open box. It was only going to cost me $1,000, and I was like, well, I can walk out of here with this computer now. Have you guys upgrade it? You know, and but the only thing was the memory card was, it was a 1660, which is your bottom line. Like, if you look at what you need, if for video games, and you go like Fallen Order, Fallen Order will tell you what specifications you have to run their video game properly, and like a 1660 will run it, but it's the bottom of the line. It's like, that's what your base, like that's the minimum you need. And I was like, well, I can get that, and then I can go buy an iPad and whatever. And the guy, he's like, you know, I know you're just saying that because you want to get the iPad 2 right now. He's like, but you're not going to be happy with the way the computer runs, especially if you're trying to stream it and do whatever.
Wow. To me, this is sounding like pretty much the city boy's so much smarter than country boy, because there's a lot of all of that I just don't know what all you went and said.
All these words I'm saying, I didn't know. Danielle got pissed at me because when I went to go buy my computer, I spent 3 days nonstop researching all different kinds of computers, what I need, the difference in, you know, memory and drives, and comparing, you know, this computer to that computer because it has this or it has that, and you know, price wise, what's worth it for me. And I don't know anything about computers, so I got to go through Best Buy, because if something happens, I can't fix it. I need to take it to them to fix it. I don't have those skills. And if I'm going to take it to somebody to fix in New York City, it's going to cost me, just for them to open up and take a look at it, is going to cost me almost as much as it does for my 3-year warranty. That with Best Buy. So yeah, like that's the thing. You have a $2,500 computer or $3,000 computer. It's $300 for a 3-year warranty. But I go take it to somebody, they're going to charge me $150 just to open it up.
Wow.
And then if they got to do something to fix it, there's an extra whatever it is. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet, and I'm going to just get the same computer, and it's just going to be a smaller screen, because then it's an even wash. I don't have to pay any extra for it, because yeah, I'd like to get the faster processor and the faster whatever. But if I do that, that's my money for the iPad, So I'd rather have the same computer I had. I need to stop looking at it as I'm buying something new. Oh, we lost Real Farm Boy. I need to look at it as I'm getting the same computer back. It's just has a smaller screen, but everything else is the same. And then I have money to buy my iPad instead of spending that to, soup up the computer. Because it's already going to be fast enough. It's going to have 64 gigs of RAM. It has 2 of the fastest drives you can basically buy. So Kylo Customs, I'm sorry, Sith Lord Kylo, how are you today, sir?
What's up, man?
Oh, just hanging out here and
Yeah, I'm just doing some researching on some stuff myself, so that's why I don't have my screen on because I'm moving around and doing all kinds of stuff. So I figure I put the little logo on there, and we'll just go from there today.
cool. Yeah, man, that's show your face, don't show your face. It doesn't really matter. It's funny because I'll go on Lunga's stream and I'm used to like when we're talking or whatever. On here, anyways, you kind of let whoever's talking just kind of talks. And when they're done, that's when you talk, unless you kind of, interject or whatever. But if you watch on Munga's streams, man, everybody's talking over each other, and it's like whoever talks louder wins the argument. So that's like you got to talk over the other person to get in there. And I just sit there like this.
There you do. I've been in them streams a couple times.
And nothing wrong with it. That's just I just sit here like this. And they're like, "Are you alive?" He hasn't blinked in 4 minutes, and I'll be like, "Well, I mean, it's from trying to get into podcasts. They don't turn them into podcasts, but if you ever notice, like once I get my computer back, I'm going to have about 10 podcasts go up in a couple days because I'm just going to edit them all and get them up there, and I'm going to try and give it a little better quality. Because people still have that thing they don't like YouTube, and even though you can put YouTube on your phone and listen to it the same way that you do
Podcast.
a podcast, people don't like YouTube, so that's why I've been trying to make it into the podcast form. And I was lazy with it and we'll just boom, cut it, put it up there, whatever. But now I'm actually going to try and take a little bit of time and make it a little better, and edit it a little bit and try and take out some of the bullshit while we're talking. And, like the first 5 minutes of this, I was trying to get the share working and I couldn't get it to work. So, cut that out because, that's just horrible radio. But, Alberto is here. Alberto, thanks for stopping by. And I would like to thank all of you people. I don't know how it happened, but Alberto's last YouTube chat that he had, not today, but the week prior, is his most ever viewed podcast. Now Earl is gone. Kylo, what do you mean you've gone on the dark side? Oh. Are you still there, Kyle? Are you in the chat? I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm still here. I was just taking a drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Alberto had his last stream. And I don't know how many people, but how many views, but he said today it hit over 100. So it's his first time being over 100. Yep, 103 views so far on his last podcast, or his last video. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not watch it myself. The guy that was on there is kind of a jerk, and I didn't want to talk to him or listen to him. So I was like, oh, well, I guess other people are going to have to listen to him. But, it is what it is.
When was that video done?
Last Saturday.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
I don't know how many views. I don't know how many views he usually gets, but it's his highest viewed one. So
how many subs does he have?
I don't know. Alberto, how many subs do you have? When I get my computer back, I got to go through and on my community page, put a bunch of our friends that he's got 39 subs.
That's pretty damn good. 100 views in a week with only 39 subs. I have like 125 subs, and we get like maybe 10 views. That's kind of like why we stopped doing videos for a while. 'Cause it's like, why am I going to put the content out when I'm getting less than half of my subscribers to watch?
I mean, it's all different because I mean, I got a lot of my viewers through giveaways and whatever, and subscriptions. That was my whole intent, was to get up to my, everybody knows I get up to my 1,000 so that I could live stream mobily. That was all I wanted to do, and I got up to that 1,000. It wasn't to make money because it's like the first week or the first month when I was monetized. They told me I was gonna be making 30. I think it was $36 or $38, and I was like, damn. I mean, that's not a lot of money, but that's gonna pay for my StreamYard. That's so now. Between that and my Patreon, I mean, forget, like I'll be breaking even every month for everything because the website costs money, and even though the website's paid for up front for the next year, I own the domain name for 10 years, and I have the security, I think, or whatever it was, for 10 years. That's all taken care of. But every month, you have to, pay for the website or whatever. And that, is 15 or $20 a month too. And yeah, I mean, so it's just, I'm, anyways, after they told me, with my views and everything, it was going to be like $38, or we'll just call it 40, to make it easy. Then they dropped it down to, it was like $8. And a couple of my buddies that do YouTube, they're like, yeah, they always overestimate it because I don't know how. Because I mean, it depends on my videos and how often I put them out. If I put out less videos, I get more views than if I put out more videos. The Bacta tank always gets about 100. So like maybe 120, 130. Then over time, months afterwards, people click it on it going through that, they'll go up there. Like my one with Yak Face, I think is at like 200. I think my one with Alberto, I think that one's up to like 120 or 130. The ones that I just did this past weekend, or the past week or two, they got a lot of views to start off with, but they didn't have a lot going afterwards. They also haven't been really pushing it that much on Twitter and Facebook. But I've also been putting them on Facebook too now. So people that might have been watching on YouTube might not be watching on YouTube, but I'm getting 80 or 100 views on Facebook. So, it's one of those things. What am I going to lose? 10 cents, 5 cents for not putting it on there, and for those views. So it's not really worth it, because it's better to have more people watching, and then eventually they'll join your stream or do whatever. And then as soon as I fucking get this computer, decide what I'm going to do, I can get my merch store set up and get some stuff going on, and get everybody already knows my first, especially the patrons, they know the first t-shirt that's going up on TeePublic, because they all got it in their stim packs, the sticker of it. So that's I mean, I guess I could do it without that, but the only thing is it's hard to do everything on your phone. And I'm like, right now I have Danielle's iPad so that I can watch the chat. In case Real Farm Boy wasn't here and I needed somebody to moderate, or whatever with moderators, I have it there so I can do that. But I don't want to download software and programs and everything onto her iPad so that I can do stuff, because that's just worse that way. So yeah, once I do get my computer, I have, I don't know, 8 or 9 podcasts to edit, and then I'm going to start doing more videos, but they're going to be kind of smaller instead of doing like what I do, what I've been doing recently too with the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary. I've been, I used to do a chapter, and a chapter would take an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours, just depending on the chapter, how much bullshit talking I did in between. Well, now I'm trying to just do 5 or 6 pages and then 5 or 6 pages and do it, more of them more often. And I have a lot of things that I want to do for just, similar to the books for just Patreons or for the patron one, and some that are going to go on the patron first and then go on to regular YouTube. Eventually sometime later. It could be a couple weeks, it could be a couple months, it could be, if we're all still alive, a year or two. I don't really know, but there's a couple that are just going to stay on there as Patreon only ones, like the archive, and then maybe the like I picked up, if you guys saw, I know I showed it, the Art of Clone Wars. That's kind of, I guess, a rare book. I mean, I didn't pay that much for it, but on the market, it's going for, you see them selling all the time for $500. You can get a used one on auction on eBay for more than I paid for it, but $250, $300, somewhere around there. Earl Farm Boy got kicked out again. Dale's Dale's first ever septic tank? Dale, this isn't your first ever septic tank. Don't say that. I know Kylo Flores said she was stopping by, and she told me too a little while ago right before the stream started. So that's sometimes where it gets in the septic tank territory, especially with her. But yeah, so basically after that fucking 40 minutes of me just jabbering about nothing, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and take the computer that is comparable with it and go from there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, the first ever septic tank.
Hello?
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 What's happening?
Oh shit! Like I was sitting here talking. I thought it was getting through. Apparently, it wasn't.
No, dude, I just thought you were doing something.
No, because I was going to ask you, because you said that the first ever T-shirt you're going to put up on your apparel store was going to be one of the stickers, and I was like, well, which one? Because I pulled out your stickers and I was looking at them, trying to figure out which one. And I also added your stickers to my video backdrop for when I do it in the office upstairs. Oh, shit. Now I'm breaking shit.
Oh. All right.
See, because I don't want to look at myself. But yeah, I added them up on here because because I'm doing a new backdrop for my videos when I get back to doing them.
Well, it's going to be, I'm going to drop a couple when I first do it. It's going to be the TooMedToo, like the, and the one that says TooMedToo on the bottom, like the placard.
Okay. So here I added your Bacta tank is up here. I added the collecting with Kylo because I have to have that on there because it is one I do with you. And then I put your little keychain up on here because what it is this is the backdrop to where I used to do videos.
Okay.
And where I'm trying to get is you can see the like the custom artwork back there. So I'm trying to get this redone and like nice so I can turn around and start doing videos again in here. But I have these goddamn Funko Pops that I got to get rearranged and taken care of first because
Well, that's
I don't
you.
collect Funko Pops.
It's because you collect Funko Pop. Yeah, that's the sticker that it's going to be.
Is it? I like
Yeah,
that one. I don't collect
Funko
Funko
Pop.
Pops no more.
It was I had so yeah I got somebody off of Fiverr. Fiverr is this like online thing where it's a bunch of different artists and they say, okay, you know, for this much money you can get you know, this, and then, you know, like, and it's supposed to be for $5, and then obviously some of the things are more. But I got some guy to do it, and I explained to him exactly what I wanted. So, Kyle, do you have the sticker? Show everybody just so they know, in case they don't know what the sticker is. But I'm pretty sure.
Collect Funko Pops one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it because I've posted it. This
Right.
is gonna be the first T-shirt out there for the channel.
All right, give me a second. Let me. All right. Where the fuck did it go? Here, I'll use the magnet.
Okay, yeah, that's a magnet too. But yeah, so that's what. Yeah, they just so they get an idea. So that's what it is. Well, the first one was the guy that did it. I told him exactly what I wanted. I said, you know, I want this, this, and this. You know, a wheelbarrow with me inside of it. You know, here's some pictures of me. Can you make it look similar to me? Whatever. I want, you know, it being pushed by the droid. Can you do this? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And he's supposed to have it to me like 2 days later or whatever. Sends me a message like 5 minutes before it's supposed to be done. Oh, I'm working on it. I'll have it to you in an hour. Sends it to me. It's TooMedToo off of like the thumbnail. Just that. Pushing a wheelbarrow that's like a red old like garden wheelbarrow. With me in it, but that's what I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. It was TooMedToo in the wheelbarrow with copy and pasted Funko Pops from the internet, and not even Star Wars ones. There were like Marvel ones in there, and they just like everything. And so it's completely not at all what I wanted. And I was like, hey, this is not all what I wanted. I asked for this, 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 and this, you know. And like I actually said, I forget what my wording was. I think it was something like your interpretation. Oh, and we lost Kylo. But you know, your interpretation of whatever it is. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then it was just basically he cut and paste, which is what I could have done. So then I had to like cancel him and get this other guy. And this other guy was good. There was a lot of revisions that needed to be done just because there was a little bit of a language barrier. So, because he was from somewhere, I believe, over in Asia. So it was just a couple of things I asked him to do. He would do it, but they were just wrong or whatever. But you know, I'm happy with the way it came out. You know, it's just some of our friends that are artists. They could do a much better. I guess make it look like me more. But you know, it is what it is, man. It's there. You know, there can always be more. And there always is more. And I'm trying to work with a few artists for something else because that's going to be one of the tiers. Kylo, when you're coming back on, try and post in the chat too, the link, because I can't do it, to see if anybody else wants to come on here. And I don't know where Christina is. Yeah, and if you can try and post in the chat just the link for in here. Because for some reason it won't let me do it with my phone right now. I don't know why. But yeah, it's like,
okay.
You know, it's like I just need to find people for Fiverr that other people have used, and it's like Lunga just used a couple of people doing for his comic book. Oh, if anybody's into comic books, I've talked about this I think last week. Lunga's doing a comic book. It's on Kickstarter right now. He's about halfway to his goal. It just came out this week, the Kickstarter, and throw a couple bucks his way, and he'll be grateful. And it looks like it's going to be a fun comic. It's already ready to go too. It's all, a lot of times you get a Kickstarter and it's like, give us our money so we can start doing this or do whatever. Like, he's got it done. It's written. It's somebody's done the pictures. It's been colored in. He just has to raise the money now to have it produced. Oh, Christina's here. Christina, Kyle, Christina, you have the link, so hop in the tank. We need you in here. The group of old. Rural Farm Boy was in here. Kylo's in here. We need the girl Kylo in here. And I think that's the start of the septic tank, how it started. But yeah, so it's like I went and found somebody, and I went by the pictures that they had, and I was like, this guy can do what I want. And then I hired him to do my shit, and it was wrong. And then this other guy, I was happy with it. I just think that if there wasn't a language barrier, it would have been easier for us to get done more along the lines of what I wanted and a lot quicker. So it would be more what I wanted and not taking as much of his time. But we'll see. So I have a couple ideas now with some people that Lunga used. But I told Lunga too, some of the shit he's got for this comic book, I'm like, dude, those would make amazing t-shirts. Like, not that I would buy them, or I'm planning on buying them, because he's a friend of mine. I might buy a t-shirt just to support him. But then again, I don't know. It's a whole other thing. But yeah, not trying to sound rude or mean or anything, but I threw some money in on the Kickstarter. I got it in there on the top tier for him, to help show my support that way. So, you gotta do what you can. We're all in this together, so it is what it is. But now, Kylo, did you watch any of the DC fandom or whatever the hell it's called today? Maybe he's not there, but yeah. So I don't know what the hell it's called. The DC fandoms, some crazy shit. I don't know. Oh, I was talking to Guy Kylo.
No, I don't watch DC movies.
You have something against DC movies, or? See, this is what I've never understood. Like I was saying earlier when Earl was on before you get on here.
Hold on. I watch old school, the original Supermans. I watched the 1989 Batman. I watched Batman Returns, and then I watch let's see, what was it, Dark Knight trilogy, and then that's it, because the rest of them I just can't do. So I'm not a big DC fan. I'm very, very particular on my comic book action superheroes I like.
All right.
I'm not a big fan of DC. My favorite thing done DC is Batman the Animated Series, a cartoon that was on in the 90s.
Have you watched any of the Harley Quinn cartoon?
No, because I don't have that streaming service that it's on.
Okay. I haven't watched it either, but I've been told how good it is. Somebody on Facebook or one of the whatever said that it's the best thing DC has done.
There, I posted the link in the chat.
Thanks, dude. I mean, I had already sent it to Christina, but I don't know. Maybe she, I don't know what she did with it. Her toys got in the way or something. But it's on there for Chris King. If Chris King wants to hop up on here, You know, we won't make you eat any weird foods or anything today.
I don't hate on DC. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not a huge DC fan. You know,
Yeah.
like
Well, it's like it was funny because I said in the beginning of this talking to Rural Farm Boy, I was like, I don't mind repeating myself, especially when I have a conversation with Rural about something, and then you and I talk about this, and this is what I said. I said, and then Kylo's going to come on, and I'm going to talk to Kylo about the same thing. And then Kylo's going to get off, and then I said Patrick's going to come on when he gets out of work at 11:30. But like with the Snyder Cut, I could care less. Or I couldn't care less if the Snyder Cut came out. It's not going to affect me at all. If a new movie comes out, I'm gonna watch it. I'm whether or not I'm gonna go see it in the theaters, it's a whole other story. I have there's ways to get things done, but it's like some of these DC's things looked pretty good. Some of them I didn't really care for. Like the Snyder Cut, I didn't think it looked good at all. And that's what I was saying. I don't know how they're going to give us new footage of something because the Snyder Cut never existed. And, that was one of the things. The Snyder Cut never existed. Hey! How are you doing, Kylo?
Tired.
Tired? We're going to talk about that in a second. Just let me finish this. So the Snyder Cut never existed, which was one of the big things about it exists, it's out there, but no, it never existed. It's going to exist because now they're making it, and what they're going to do is they can't just take the footage they have to do, basically it's like reshoots. They got to film the movie over again for parts to get whatever. Well, they haven't done any of that filming over or reshoots or whatever you want to call them. I don't know the technical term or what us lay people are calling them or whatever, but the only thing they're going to give us is footage that we've already seen cut differently or footage we haven't seen. I mean, so that was my thing. And, then they go and you play the same song that you did for your last movie, or for Watchmen. I just think it was just kind of lazy shit. But that was my thing. That's like, what are they going to give you? You're having this big thing, and this is supposed to be a start for the Snyder Cut. We know we're going to get it, but it didn't really show us anything. There was no action. It was like, here, this person's going to be in the movie, and here's 5 seconds or 3 seconds of Batman and Superman, and like, okay, yeah, we see Black Superman. But it was just really not good. The Batman one that came out looked interesting, but I don't know. It was a teaser trailer, and it was really a teaser because I had no idea what was going on. Everybody's now, who is this person? Who's that person? So it's great for everybody to talk to and stir up conversation, but not being, and it has nothing to do with whether it's DC or Marvel. I watch the movies. I like the movies. I might go see it in the theater. I might not. It depends on who's around or whatever, whatever it is. But yeah, I just, not really that excited for anything. Not like if it was a Star Wars, but some of my other friends are, and I'm excited for them, or I hang out with the chat and their chats, or when Lunga's a big nerd when it comes to DC and stuff like that. So I hang out in there and talk with him, and I'm learning about stuff, which makes it more enjoyable because I also learned what I was saying earlier in the show. There's a lot of shows out there that I didn't know about for the DC world that look pretty good. And it's like, okay, maybe I'm going to have to start, watching those or taking a look at them to see. So, Kylo, Flores, you're muted. Finally, you're muted.
I know.
You have any interest in DC or anything?
Not really. I just like Superman. That's it.
Kind of like the same thing as me. Like I'll watch them when they come on. It's something to watch. I might go see them in the theater, but it's not. If they never made another one, it wouldn't really bother me. And I don't mean I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything, but it's like if they make them, I'll watch them.
I did run to the theater to see Birds of Prey.
That was different though. You only went to go see that because it was a chick movie.
Oh, you're calling me out and say watch chick flicks now. All right, man.
I'm calling to say that the only reason you went to go see it was for Margot Robbie.
Well, that and I do love her character. I that's like one of my biggest like DC things is I love the character of Harley Quinn and Joker. I want a relationship like Harley Quinn and Joker one day. I don't know if it'll last, but it would be fun.
Yeah, I had a relationship like that once. It's fun at the beginning, and then
I think I might have had one of those.
it's fun to start, and then you get injuries and broken bones and all your Star Wars shit ending up in the fireplace, and
No, that's a little bit far. I mean, I was gonna say a little pain, no pain, no gain. A little pain never hurt anybody. But now you're talking like murderous. You end up on Snapped because Star Wars toys landed in the fireplace. I'm gonna be on Forensic Files or some shit.
48 hours.
I only had one Star Wars book, and that went in the fireplace too. And I realized the other day when I was going through my books, looking at stuff that I bought that book again, but it's like one of the encyclopedias from like the late 90s or whatever, or early 2000s. And I was like, this has to be it. Like, I don't really remember, like, honestly, like 100% that it was. It would just be like if one of my books right now disappeared, and it's like, okay, or you know what I mean? Because there's so many encyclopedias and visual dictionaries or whatever. If it was a specific one, like to a movie, I would probably know. But being like one of the whatever that's revised, and every couple of years gets revised. But yeah, so rural farm boy, everybody. He talked about when he got on here, he got a new phone, so now he can stream. So he was on here for quite a while. But I'm going to go with now. And I don't know if it was ever now or if it's always been. But now with him buying the new phone, we know that it's not the phone because the phone works. It has to be his internet, because as soon as Kylo came on, it kicked him off. So that has to be, I don't understand exactly how it works, but the more people that come in, your phone or whatever has to work harder. But you'd think it would be mine because it's mine that's running it. But whatever. So we got Rural Farmer. He'll be back in the chats more often, especially if we can do some one-on-one tag team, some book action or whatever. So that should be good. Or we got to look into figuring out maybe he needs upgrade his
Might need to upgrade his internet.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking about doing too. Not that there's anything wrong with mine, but I think there's better. I think I can upgrade it, and usually I don't know, like it's usually free. Especially I don't know, somebody bought another computer company or whatever internet company 6 months ago, and I know the internet that they were offering me with a bundle, if I got a home phone and cable, was faster. So I got to be able to get the internet faster too. So it's not going to hurt. But so Kylo,
Yes.
what are you doing right now?
Nothing. See it. Just here.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Just
I thought you were doing I
sitting
thought you were
down
doing
here.
some cross stitcher shit.
Shit. I'm not that talented.
I used to do some beautiful cross stitching.
What?
Yeah. When I was a kid and I was sick and I couldn't do anything and I couldn't go outside and play, especially in the wintertime because I was always sick and I had respiratory problems and asthma and ear infections and whatever. You can't go outside and play, or in the summertime too. And then I had a bunch of surgeries when I was a kid, and stuck in the house and couldn't do anything and pretty much on bed rest for months at a time. And I cross stitched. I was pretty good at it too for a young tyke. But what you got going on? You're not the last couple times I've seen you, you've been wearing a lot of makeup.
Oh, it's for the haunted house. I'm training.
You're
So,
training
yes,
for a haunted house?
yes. We open on September 11th. So we got to train. So that's about it. That's all.
Whoa, everybody. Guess what we got here? Dale, how are you doing?
He's muted. He's got to unmute.
You got your microphone there.
There
Dale,
you
how
go.
are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
This is the first
I'm
time
doing
I've ever been in a stream with Dale,
Woo!
Yep.
or at least on video.
You look a lot different than last time I saw you.
Grew a beard, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with Kylo.
Yeah. I had quite the beard going before I shaved mine. But yeah, I got my hair cut and a shave the beginning of February, and then I didn't cut my hair or my beard until June. Whatever the first week that they opened back up in New York, I went and got it. But
I only trimmed mine down for an interview.
Dale usually had the problem. Dale used to try and get on here. He did it with a lot of times for the books too. And he always had. Did you get a new phone? Is that what the deal is, or?
Yeah, this is actually an old phone, but I decided to try to use it because I don't know if it's my internet or it must have been my laptop that just didn't have enough memory. Old
That
laptop.
could be it, because that sure can do it. Yeah. Oh, great! Now we got Dale's gonna be using his phone. He's gonna be coming in the chats. He's gonna be talking with us about books.
So can you turn the camera the other way or anything like that? How does that work in here?
Okay, go to you're on your phone. So at the bottom there should be a more button.
Or it says cam/mic.
There's camera/mic. Okay.
Yeah, click on that because you can change your camera in there.
I'm gonna try to.
And then you can.
I don't want face. I just want it facing front, but there's only there's three options: camera 0 facing back, camera 2 facing back, and then camera 1 facing front. I don't want to use the back camera because then I can't see what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So then try and see maybe.
Well, I sort of can. But
I don't know. Do you have it? Do you have it like in portrait or landscape? Is your phone going up and down, or is it going sideways?
right
'Cause if
now,
you have it going up and down.
I think it's going up and down. I think it's just default.
Because if you turn it to sideways, if you turn it to sideways, it
I
should
could
go
get in
kind
the
of like
camera.
mine or Christina's eyes.
Yeah, I tried just turning it sideways, but that didn't work.
No, I just turned
I'm
mine sideways
sure.
and put me upside down.
How do you? I'll just leave it this way. It's good. I probably won't be in here for a long time anyway, because I'm. No, I don't really have anything to say.
Well, you said you were looking forward to the Snyder Cut, right?
Or what's that?
You were looking
Snyder
forward to the
Cut?
Snyder
Yeah,
Cut.
but I don't. Well, I don't really know what the Snyder Cut's all about. I don't even know what it's for. Is it for one of the DC movies or Batman or something?
So the Snyder Cut was for the Justice League or whatever it was.
No.
That they made, and that was horrible and got bad reviews. Zack Snyder was the director for it, and like halfway through filming or whatever it was, I don't even know how far through filming it was. I think one of his kids died is what happened. So he pulled out of the movie. Somebody else finished it. The movie was crap, and then like in every fandoms, some people were like, "Release the Snyder Cut. We want to see his movie. We know it was finished, and you guys went in whatever because politics and everything." So, that went on for a couple of years, and then and it was like completely crazy, like Fandom Menace level, and people fighting each other, and like Fandom Menace and Rainbows trying to fight each other, and each one being as toxic as the other one. Because trying to say that they're not toxic, the other ones are, and they're completely normal or whatever it is. So you had like the Snyder Cuts and the non-Snyder Cut people doing the same thing, and I don't know what the hell Kyle was doing. She was going crazy over there. And
she's got her boyfriend behind her background.
Yes, sir. Let's see your hands.
So
Let's see your hands.
Above me, my light, and if I turn my light on, you'll be blinded. I think, maybe not. So,
but then, so the whole thing was about the Snyder Cut, whether they had it, and people were saying yes, they had it, but they decided to go a different way. Other people say no, it was never made. So then it turns out that they did have the Snyder Cut. Well, they never had it. That's what they told people. We have the Snyder Cut. It's going to be released when HBO Max comes out. And then everybody's like, haha, we told you. And then it's like, well, no, we don't actually have it, but we're going to make it. So they're going to, take the footage they have and recut it and then do reshoots and everything to make it his movie that he had. But they're just making another movie. That he's making the movie he originally started to make, is what it comes down to. But that's my whole thing. The movie wasn't made. They have the footage that they had before, and now they need to do reshoots. But they didn't do any reshoots because COVID. So, and then like I don't know because I'm not a Marvel DC person, like when it comes to like comic books and movies and things like that. I'm just kind of a casual fan. But that was my whole thing. It's like, how could you release, the teaser trailer, this new footage when there isn't any? because you didn't do anything. And everybody's saying, no, this is their big thing. They have to show it. We're going to have to see what's going on. And, you know, they show it, and it's nothing new. It's just like, here's Batman, here's Wonder Woman, you know, here's Superman, here's Aquaman. You know, so it was just like, you know, they're talking about how amazing it was, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, I didn't, it didn't do anything for me. I guess Christina's gone.
Right. Uh-oh.
She's having a good old time.
Yeah.
She's having a little bit too much fun with her boyfriend behind her.
I think so.
Taking up too much memory.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, did either one of you see the Batman trailer that dropped? It was later on tonight. It was probably an hour before I came on, so it was probably somewhere around 8:30, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I know Kylo's an hour behind, and Daly are a couple hours behind.
Right.
Yeah, that trailer too. I was just kind of like, I saw it, and it was just like, I mean, it kind of looks good, but it didn't really do anything for me, and it wasn't enough to, you know, it was a teaser trailer, and people are talking about how great it looked, but you know, they haven't announced, like, we know kind of who the actors are going to be in the film, and we know that the Riddler is supposed to be in it, but so is the Penguin. But they show people, and you can't tell who was in the film, or you know, who was in the trailer. And so I don't know. It was, to me, it was just kind of like having a teaser trailer, but you can't tell who anybody is. So over the next couple of days, it's going to get dissected. Everybody's going to figure it out, and we'll find out that way. Because I watched, you know, a few of the experts, or you know, DC people or comic book people doing it, and you know, on their own shows, you know, they're arguing with each other on, well, no, I think it's this person. Well, no, it's not, and you know, it should be this, it should be that, and it's like, you know, when you have no point of reference because you haven't seen any footage, and they show you someone that's bandaged up, you know, you can't really tell, you know, who people are. So.
Right.
All right. You better now? Christina, you better now?
She's back.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm
Oh, there
trying
it
to
is.
watch on my computer. I'm trying to talk. It's kind of confusing as far as where I'm at, because I have this sound turned down on the computer and all that. So I want to kind of play with the cam settings and see if I can get that figured out, and then maybe come back in a little bit. But
Sure,
hang
man.
out. I'll be listening on the computer. Let me know if well, I can.
Anytime you want to hop back on, just hop on. Let me know, sir.
Yeah, just drop a message and I can redrop the link. Because I have the link copy and pasted on my laptop. I can put it down into the chat again.
So we do have this book,
All right,
and it's the last one. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Somebody that was new off of Twitter or Twitch. I'm sorry, somebody off of Twitch was like, "Why are you being mean to this person? They took the time to make a book," and it's like, because everything in the book is wrong. Like, that's why. Like, people are going to go read this book and be like, I am going to learn this stuff about Star Wars because there's lists, and everything they're going to read in the list is wrong. And like, I have a new one, like a real book of lists. And it has like real lists in there, not like, you know, why I don't know. the 5 most irritating improvements. Like, I don't know, like when you start a list of ranking the irritating things, I don't know, just seems like a funny list to put in a book about Star Wars. These are the irritating things. 5 reasons Anakin Skywalker was a disappointing character. Biggest boneheads. Sleaziest characters. Useless good guys. Okay. Do we see a pattern here with any of these lists? Every list is negative. There's nothing good or about it. Like, that's kind of like, I don't know what the point is. Although we did get the 11 most powerful Force users, but we list people that aren't Force users. So I don't know what the hell Kylo's doing. She's fucking mad. Unmute yourself, woman.
This is the septic tank. She's in here and she's septic tanking away.
I think so. What
the hell are you doing, woman? At least she ain't in here playing with her Darth Vader and Yoda.
But that's the other thing too. Once I get my computer back, I want to, like, it's not going to be like a professional page or, well, I don't mean professional. Like, I'm not, like, it's not going to be a business, but I want to have on, you know, you can go to TooMedToo.com and that's the website. But the way it's set up is I can use the templates that they have to do it. And it doesn't do what I need it to do. So I have to get the different website from them, which costs me the same amount of money, doesn't matter. But then I can't do it myself. I have to have someone do it. My buddy's going to do it for me. But so, like, I want to have where, you know, I can post links onto there. So whenever I post anything on YouTube, I can post them on there. Whether it's every video I put up or, you know, Septic Tank or Bacta Tank, you know, whatever it is, and have the podcast link up there, which I can't do. Have the link to all my social medias, you know, so like you can go on there and you know, with one click, you can decide if you want to go to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Live It, YouTube, you know, anything that you can think of. And another one I'm going to have is it's going to be, you know, like pops that are available that I have. And, you know, if somebody wants them, then there you go. And I mean, Kylo, you know, I don't have a lot of my pops I have aren't worth anything. That's why I don't know how to go about selling them. Because if I have a $7 pop, how do I sound? How do I,
how do you what?
How do I sell a $7 pop on eBay? $7 plus shipping.
Yeah.
So then I made $2 off of it, plus packaging.
Let's see. So it's a $7 pop. Shipping would be what, like $5? So you can do like $12 shipped. So you can still pay for the shipping and you get your $7. The only thing you might be out would be like the box you use.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's I don't know. I just whatever. I want to work on that. Get that done too.
Or I mean, you're in New York. There's got to be some secondhand shop where you can take the ones you don't want and they give you money for them.
Yeah, I should look at that. I should figure that out.
There's a guy I used to watch on YouTube. He's in New York. I don't know where the hell he's at in New York, but he has like a toy shop that has like Funko Pops in it. It's got action figures in it. It's got comic books in it.
Yeah. We got a couple new people in the chat coming in here. We got obviously Subdued and Cancer Sucks. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Hopefully you're subscribed. Hit that like button. You know, you guys know what to do. All that stuff that people really care about, and you know, I just kind of think it's nice if you do. But
Obviously,
the subscription I appreciate. The like I appreciate. Well, the subscription more than like, because the subscription, you know, then you can see. But, yeah, so I just gotta look into that and then, you know, figure it out. But I don't know.
you
All
got
right, so yeah, this is the last one from this douchebag, and we'll see what we got here. But yeah, but that was so I always have faith that these lists are going to be good and we're going to get something good that's going to come out of it and something's going to happen. And it's like the last one we did, I think was the it was hideouts. But it's like, you know, he said the Ewok village was a hideout. No, it wasn't, dude. Like, I mean, Ewok village wasn't a hideout. It's where the Ewoks lived.
True.
It was hard to find because they didn't want, you know, people coming there and finding them, but it's not a hideout. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I think last week he had 1.5. He got 1.5 points, which might have been his best one. But maybe this is his last one. We'll get something good out of it. But let's see. The 6 most forced moments in Star Wars. See, once again, it's negative. Like, why don't we have a good list? For better or worse, the Star Wars movies have always been based as much on look what we can do, special effects, as they were on actual cohesive storytelling. In fact, it often seems that George Lucas was more interested in including examples of the stereotypes of high-level effects and storyline elements this mind could create. Okay. I'm sorry, I zoned out there for a second. I was reading on silently. Elements mind create when he was finding organic ways to fit them into movies in a way there wasn't as jarring as getting a brick thrown at your head. Okay. Way to go, make your list. Way to be objective on there. Here are the 5 most glaring examples of such behavior, starting with, even though, mind you, it says the 6 most, and it says here are the 5 most, and it starts at number 6. The tentacle monster and the trash compactor. During the rescue of Princess Leia aboard the Death Star in the original movie, blah, 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 pursuing stormtroopers by diving into a garbage chute, the fact that they had momentarily escaped the Imperial forces was quickly forgotten when they realized they were trapped inside the garbage chute with some kind of aquatic beast that wanted them for dinner. Okay, well, let me finish this. While the monster's attack was the moment it dragged Luke underwater for exiting, it was also a bit contrived. For starters, didn't the fact that the Empire had this thing living in one of its garbage chutes strike you as a bit weird? Did the Empire know it was there? Did they put these there on purpose? It seems a bit out of place on board, for all intents and purposes, a brand new battle station. Well, see, here you go. This book was written in 2016, so it was before we got the story of the Dianoga. But that's my whole point about this fucking douchebag. He calls it the tentacle monster, and then he calls it an aquatic beast. It's been known as the Dianoga for years. All he had to do was look it up in a book and find out the name of it. He could have. It was 2016 when he made this book. He could have used Wikipedia. He could have used Google and found out what it was called. So we find out later, and why the Dianoga was there. And if anybody wants to know, let me know. I can tell you all that story. Or, let me know if you want to know about it. And next week I will read you that story so we get it all done and controlled, or whatever. But okay. Here we go. Number 5. So completely wrong and lazy ass writing again. Evil Cave. You guys can come on here and chat with me and put in your opinion on it if you're, Christina. You're saying you can't come on here because I'm talking. When do I not talk? But Kyle, I mean, you agree with me? It's like you're going to write a book and you're going to call it a monster and not take the time to find out what it's called. And you're a lifetime Star Wars fan and you have a Star Wars website.
That is a dumbass, or he's a liar about being a lifetime Star Wars fan. One or the other.
I'm
going to go with probably leaning more towards the first one, because you got to be a dumbass to call it a monster to not try to figure out what it's actually called. Me, personally, off the top of my head, I don't know what it's called, but I'm not just going to refer to it as the monster.
Because, I mean, I'm sure if you Googled right now, the monster and the garbage chute and A New Hope, you'd be able to find it quite easily, just calling
Give
it
me
that.
1 second. I will, because I'm sitting in my office right now. I will Google it right now, because actually I knew the name at one point because I saw somebody cosplay it last summer at Star Wars Day. They did an absolute kick-ass job of it. So I'm going to Google it right now, so give me a second, and I will fill you in as soon as I get that done.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, the title for it is The Tentacle Monster. Yeah, search for it this way. I mean, you're probably searching for it a smart way. Search for it, The Tentacle Monster and the Trash Compactor, and see if that comes up. Because those are his own words and the title for it.
Tentacle Monster.
In the Trash Compactor.
Shit.
And then if it doesn't come up, put Star Wars or whatever. Just so we're not like searching for something else. And be like, see, we found it so easily. And then, you get some jack off and be like, well, you knew what you were looking for, so we'll just use his own words.
Tentacle Monster and Trash Compactor, enter. And it's a Dianoga.
Dianoga, yeah.
It does
Dianoga.
come. It's the second listing in Google after trash compactors, like your in-home trash compactor.
So we just used his title to do it. So yeah, it was really lazy writing. Now
I'm gonna remember it's called a Dianoga. I'm not gonna remember that.
Dianoga.
Dianoga. Sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just like, you can put, if you want to, the Tentacle Monster and the Trash Compactor. That's fine, because now people that are reading this that don't know about Star Wars, a Tentacle Monster and the Trash Compactor? What's this thing? And then, blah, 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 blah. But then instead of calling it the Aquatic Beast, or saying the Aquatic Beast, the Dianoga or whatever, whatever you want to put it for it, then, you don't have to necessarily put in your title, but yeah. But okay, so no points on that one. So let's see how this one was forced. The Evil Cave with Ghost Vaders on Dagobah. Well, first of all, there was only one Vader, It wasn't a ghost. When Luke goes in the cave and Yoda says that he's not going to need any weapons. Take only with yourself.
The Dagobah cave.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so he's not a ghost.
No.
Because we've. This is why you need to differentiate, because you have Force ghosts. So if you call it a ghost Vader or whatever, but anyways, all right. Maybe he changed. Maybe he clarifies it in here. I don't really think he did, but the evil cave with the ghost Vaders on Dagobah. The mysterious cave on Dagobah that Luke decided to explore despite Yoda's assertion that it only contained evil seemed like foreshadowing of some deeper meaning we would later learn on in the story. After all, it was a cave on a remote planet that was somehow to create a tangible apparition of Darth Vader out of thin air. So there had to be some kind of meaningful explanation, right? As it turned out, however, the cave not only did not constitute a key storyline element, it was never mentioned again after Luke's initial visit. Yoda certainly seemed to know more about it than he was willing to tell at the time, but he never had a chance to share more than Luke discovering this initial visit. What was the cave doing there? How was it able to intelligently create an apparition of Luke's worst nightmare for him to confront? Was it a place that was so rich in Force energy that it had a mind of its own? Was it something that Yoda created specifically to test Luke when the time came? We will never find out, and probably never will. Okay. Kylo, what are your thoughts on this? Either one of you Kylos. Girl Kylo. Do you know what he's talking about?
Not really.
Okay, in Empire Strikes Back on Dagobah. Dagobah's the planet where Yoda's living in seclusion, because that's what Jedi do when bad shit happens. They go and hide out for years and meditate until they're needed again. Kind of like what Luke did, but everybody has a problem with that. Anyways, so on the cave, on the planet, Luke has to go into this cave to face basically his biggest fears.
Yes.
And then what I'm talking about in Empire Strikes Back now? He goes in the cave and there's Vader and he cuts off Vader's head and the helmet falls off and it's Luke.
Image.
Yeah. And that's what this guy's saying is Darth Vader's ghost, and it doesn't serve any point or anything. And that's kind of the complete opposite of everything this is trying to show you.
But how is it his ghost when Vader is still alive?
Well, that's what.
Because
it's
fear of going to the dark side. I think Luke had that fear too. It's just as not as much as had like his father Anakin had. But I think Luke could go to the dark side if he wanted to. I don't know.
But no, you're kind of right, but it's not the whole thing. It's not a ghost. It's not a Force ghost. It's not a ghost, especially when we find out later on about Force ghosts. But you can't call it a ghost because you're going to face your worst fear. So it's it's your imagination. Basically, it's the Force showing you through your imagination. If we'll just call it that, make it easy. But it's not a ghost.
No.
You know what I mean? If someone's imagining something, if you're afraid of spiders and you're imagining that you see spiders, they're not ghosts. You know what I mean? You drop a couple hits of acid and you see some shit, you're not seeing ghosts. You're seeing, whatever.
Rainbows and flowers. But no, I think Ben Solo is a ghost.
Well, that's for later on. We're talking. So this one's wrong too. I don't know how it was forced at all. And it's not like he wrote this book and I mean, it's a recent book. It's a couple years old. Yes, we found a lot of information after he wrote this, but still, you know, the Force Awakens has already come out. We know that the Last Jedi is being worked on when he writes this book. So, the bongo ride through Naboo's core. I mentioned before how a lot of the scenes in Star Wars movies are included seemingly for no other reason than to show off some kind of special effects that Lucasfilm was capable of. One such scene came when Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Jar Jar took a submarine through the core of Naboo in order to reach the capital city of Theed in time to rescue Queen Amidala from the Trade Federation. During the trip, the Jedi were repeatedly accosted by a series of increasingly gigantic predator fish. It was pretty much the entire basis of the Jurassic Park movies. Throw out a big CGI monster, whatever. Plus, it's not exactly like the movies had suffered from a lack of attention up to that point. The Jedi had already survived a sneak attack from the Trade Federation, stowed away with invading droid armies, the Gungan,
Hey,
the ocean.
Michael, here's that cosplay of the trash compactor.
All right, I put you on. Let's see. Nice. I have that T-shirt.
Awesome. That was so cool. All right, which camera? No, I don't want that one.
Yeah, that was cool, dude. There may have been somebody at Celebration like that. Whether it was the same one or a different one, or you know but yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's that they were with the 501st Legion, so it might have been, could have been with the at the Celebration, because that was last year. So that's when you were out here in Chicago. So you might have seen that last year.
Yeah, I don't think that he's right at all about this one. The Naboo ride through the core. I'm not even talking about he's just wrong. All right, the pod race. So there was absolutely no reason for the pod race, is what he's saying. Let's see what he says. Another example of Lucasfilm wanting to flex their CGI special effects muscles ahead of delivering a satisfactory story came from in the form of Anakin Skywalker's pod race in Episode 1. Things went on forever, and the entire premise behind Qui-Gon badly needed parts to repair the ship, and he trusted that to the abilities of a kid he had only met hours earlier, who had never even finished a race before. To win a huge pod race that drew tens of thousands of attendants was ridiculous. I think the pod race is pretty cool. And then his story right here is that they decided to do a pod race. What was wanting to flex their muscle instead of delivering a satisfactory storyline. So there you go. He's negative right off the bat. This guy just all he does is talk shit, and I'm glad I bought this book so I know what an idiot he is, but I wish I didn't have to spend money on it. But yeah, he's just wrong. You know, whether or not you like the pod race or not, it serves a purpose. It's showing you that Anakin Skywalker, as a 10-year-old boy or whatever the hell he is, can do things that humans cannot do. No human can pod race because they don't have the reflexes. It's too fast. And the reason people don't finish the pod race, because they're so dangerous, the people you're racing against sabotage you and purposely make you crash. So it's not just like it was him that ever had this problem. So this guy's an idiot still. All right. Number 2, everything with Senator Bail Organa. When Luke and Leia were born, Yoda and Obi-Wan decided that the twins needed to be protected from discovery by their father and his master, Emperor Palpatine. We know that Leia wound up on the planet Alderaan, where she grew up in a relative anonymity with her true identity and became a senator, much like her adopted father, Bail Organa, had before her. Figuring out to get Leia where she needed to be in Episode 5 beginning wasn't the smoothest process of the prequel trilogy. Bail Organa never appeared in the original movies since Alderaan had blown up with the Death Star before we ever had a chance to meet him. Also, a random member of the Galactic Senate would be difficult to write in the storyline, both important enough that the Jedi would trust him. Anakin Skywalker's children, most anonymous enough, it would be dangerous. Adopted daughter, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this guy's still an idiot. In the end, Organa wound up getting thrown into a bunch of scenes where nobody had any idea who he was or why he mattered. But he was seen in the Senate with Padme, chit-chatting with the Jedi Council, attempting entry into the Jedi Temple after it had been attacked, and even rescued Yoda after his battle with the Emperor. But even after all this, most people I know didn't realize who Senator Organa was up until the moment he offered to adopt Leia. I don't know, man. Like, these are just wrong. It's like, again, like it's not. They weren't forced. Like they didn't make scenes. They didn't make scenes that revolved around him just to put him in there. He was in as a side character or whatever. So yeah, once again, he's wrong. Okay, this one he's probably right on. Midichlorians. When George Lucas finally got around to making Episode 1, he decided to reimagine the Force from the mystical power that he had originally presented it as, and instead provided a scientific explanation for how the Force physically manifested itself into those who could use it. Specifically, he felt it was necessary for Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi to have a way of scientifically measuring how strong 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker was with the Force. I get what George Lucas was trying to accomplish, but most fans thought the idea of midichlorians of the physical basis of the Force was both stupid and unnecessary. The Force had always been a supernatural energy where the power of the mind and faith and its potency had all required to take advantage of its full potential. Like, I agree. I don't like the whole thing about midichlorians. But I don't think they were really forced. Like, it's not like they say, okay, here, listen, it was used as a plot point to say, listen, this kid has this many midichlorians, this much force. It was a way, I think, to be able to relay how much force power somebody has. Hey, this guy has so much force power. He has more force power potential than Master Yoda. So we need to train him. He's going to be blah, blah, blah. And then later on, they talk about it a little bit more. Then later on, they talk about it a little bit more. And later on, they talk about it a little bit more. But it doesn't really, yeah, I think it's stupid, but I don't really think it was forced. It's not like they made scenes just about it. Yeah, they did have scenes, but it was for a plot point. Like, if you say there's something that's forced in a movie, it means it doesn't belong there. And you might not have liked the whole midichlorian thing, but I mean, it was used as a plot point just to be able to say, hey, this is how strong he is. This is why we need to take him. That's what I think, anyways. What do you think about the whole? So, yeah, out of this entire book, The most on a list I think he might have gotten was 2 right. Or that made sense. Or ranked right. Or whatever. And then Christina left. She's tired. She's got it rough. She's doing the homeschool thing and then going to work. I think she's working almost every night. Is what she had told me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what her schedule is, but they start pretty soon. Because I asked her, I said, she told me she was working at a haunted house, but she told me that they were starting like September 4th or something like that. But they need to go in for their training and all that other crap. And I was like, September 4th for a haunted house? That just seems awfully early. What?
No, not really. Not anymore. They already got the Halloween shit out in Walmart already. The Halloween decorations are already out. And it's not even September yet. So them starting the haunted houses in the beginning of September. Well, they start the haunted house here, I think, right after Labor Day. Because they want to start it earlier to get more revenue in.
Oh, like I understand that. I don't know. I just think that I just think it's kind of early.
Well, yeah, because you just wait till after Labor Day, and you're going to start seeing Christmas stuff if we haven't already seen it. They're starting everything way too damn early.
I don't know. School's not even back in session yet, and well, I mean it is down there. I guess they just went back. Last week was their first week, but I don't know. So, is there anything else we got going on?
Not that I can think of. Jeez, I can't spell for the life of me. Oh, yeah, nothing that I know of. I know that the celebration figures, I guess, come out Friday.
Yeah, that's what I gotta figure out because everything that's out, I have pre-ordered, except for this last set of Target stuff, which were the Funko Pop, and then there are 2 Black Series that are coming out. But those I'm going to have to pick up in the store or see if they go back up once, because those sold out like, in minutes. And then you have the Celebration ones coming out. You have Luke, Vader, Stormtrooper, I think, right? And Chewbacca coming out. Those are the Ralph McQuarrie concept ones. You have a 10-inch Stormtrooper, and you have Yoda raising the X-Wing. The Yoda raising the X-Wing is Amazon. I'm not sure. The other 5, one of them's FYE. 2 of them are the Funko store. One of them's Target, maybe. One of them was Walmart. One of them's I don't know. They're all spread out. So
I don't know because I'm screwed either way because I have to work Friday morning. So, and then it's not like I'm just now starting this job, so I can't be like, oh, I can't work Friday because I need to go get these toys. I don't have enough time vested in for me to adjust my schedule to make sure I'm off for release days yet. That's how I was able to pull all the stuff off that I've been doing is I had time vested in. Like, yeah, I'm not going to work on, I'll work this day instead of this Friday or this day instead of this Thursday, because I have, the seniority to do it.
oh, it's like
If I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't.
I mean, mine's all going to be online. I think maybe one of them is GameStop. I'll have to check, but
I had to try to figure out where I can figure out where the hell they're at.
I mean, it sounds weird, but New York City is not that big. It's not that spread out, but it takes a while to get around from place to place because if you take the train, you're waiting for the train, and the train goes slower.
Right.
Same thing with the bus. If you drive your car, it depends where you're driving to. It might take you a half hour to go a mile because of lights and traffic and everything. So it's like once those Target ones come up, and now they actually have some other Target stuff coming up. But like yeah, we'll talk about that later. But when I get to Target, I have a Target about an hour from my house. Well, it's like 2 miles or whatever, maybe 3 miles. So, it's going to take me an hour to walk there or, hop in 2 trains or whatever it is, a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. But once I'm at one of them, I think like the one opens at 7. So I can go to that one at 7 and see if they have the stuff. And then the next one opens at 8. I can go to that one if they need to and go get stuff. I can go to the other one that opens at 9. So, that way they're at least close to each other. I can go to one, be there for when they open, go and see they don't have out what I want, track somebody down, have them go back and check. And then, get whatever I can from there and then go on to the next one. And, it'll take me 20 minutes to walk there or a half hour to walk there. Do the same thing. Then I got a half hour to walk to the other one and a half hour to try and find my stuff and have people go in the back and search for it. But that's just, me being able to do the Target one. And that's when, the 3 things that I want that come out at Target, whatever it is on the 28th. I don't know if is everything coming out the same day? I don't even know. But, I mean, it's just, and FYE, it's like, I'll be sitting there walking from one, I'll be sitting there walking from one to the other one, trying to order shit on my phone. Dell said it would be funny if they released the same Justice League that they released in theaters when it came out for the first time. I mean, right now, that's all they have. They haven't. I mean, unless they're recutting it and they have unused footage that they're putting in there, but there's still things that happen in the movie that didn't happen in his vision. So that need to be reshot. They need to bring people back in. They need to do things, whether it's an actual person or stunt doubles and use CGI. But then you start talking about a lot of money. And that was another one of the big things about it is, the Snyder Cut was done. It's ready to go. Well, no, we never made it. Now we need to make it. Well, now it's only going to cost us $20 million to make. And then the executives were like, no, we don't want it. And then I don't know the whole corporate structure, whoever bought whoever and whatever, and then I think AT&T, I could be completely wrong on it, but I think AT&T bought whoever else owned the DC shit, and they're like, no, this is what we want. And the people that were there were like, no, you don't want it. We don't think you should do it. Those people got fired, and that was the whole last week or 2 weeks ago, the DC layoffs. They weren't, the majority of them weren't just regular workers or whatever. They were executives. That's what I mean. It sucks, but that's what happens when you're an executive and you're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars a year with your bonuses and everything else too. When your company gets bought, you lose your job, but you get a nice severance package. And you sit on your ass until you go work at another job. And then you do the same thing. And then that company you're working for buys somebody else. And then you move up and you fire them. And they do, it's just a big fucking cycle. So yeah, a lot of people did lose their jobs, but the majority of them weren't, regular rank and file. They were executives that no longer had room for them because, that's what happens when one company buys another company. The middle management or upper management doesn't have a place to go anymore. So I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. Corporate structures, yeah. So I don't know, the head honchos of that bought them said, no, this is what we want you to do. And we're going to put on HBO. And they're like, no, that's not a good idea. It's going to cost too much money to make it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, this is what we're doing. So it went from, we have it, it's not going to cost you anything, to, well, now we need to make it, and it's going to be like $20 million. Which I guess it's really not a lot, because you figure, so you sell a million and a half subscriptions to HBO Max, and you've made your money for the $20 million it costs you to make it. But we all know, when you say it's going to cost $20 million to make a movie, or to fix a movie that was already made, or whatever you want to call it, I would bet a lot of money that it's going to cost more than $20 million. If they say it's $20 million, it's going to be a lot more than $20 million. Probably going to be double that. Which then means you need to make, you need to sell 2 million subscriptions or 3 million subscriptions. And you want to keep those subscriptions on there. That's the whole thing. Because you're going to get a lot of people that are going to get HBO just for that movie. So you pay your $15 or $20, whatever it costs you for that 1 month subscription. And I think they usually do a free subscription, right? Isn't it like the first month is free if you sign up or whatever it is? I looked at HBO Plus and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll get it. It's only $15. There's a lot of good stuff on there that I want to see. Just haven't gotten it yet, which is funny because, I don't know. I just canceled my Stars. I got Stars for Outlander when it was on, so that I get it on Stars. I would get it early. I'd get it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays when it was supposed to come out or whatever, so I didn't have to get it from other sources and have to wait. And that was $10 or $15, and that show ended fucking 6 months ago, so they got their money off of me for that one. So I was on one day and I was like, wait, we still have Stars? I thought I canceled it. Nope, guess not. Yeah, like Dale just said, he thinks it's a week free, but it could be a month. So, I would get it just because. It's starting to get, all these streaming services are starting to get expensive. But Disney Plus, I get free because I have my phone, or for Verizon, so I don't have to pay for that now. I think I might have to next year. I'm not sure. But then we have Hulu, and we share that account with one of our family members, which you're allowed to do. It's, you know, they don't mind if you do it with family members. Family members are okay, but it's other people that aren't family they don't want you to do it with. And then Netflix, they have, and they share that with us. And those are the, you know, the two big ones. Every once in a while, I get the WWF network because they give you a month for free, and I watch that for a month and do some wrestling, and then I cancel it. And then, you know, 6 months later, like, hey, you can watch this for a month for free. I'm like, okay. But other than that, you know, everything else is just. But I mean, still, if you know, $15, $15, $10, you know, you get 4 or 5 of these streaming services, and you're talking $50, $60. I mean, it's nowhere near as expensive as cable, but I don't know. You know, that doesn't include, though, too. I got Comixology, and then I have Kindle Unlimited. You know, that's an extra, you know, $15 or whatever a month just to read comics, which I never read. And I'm starting to, though. I'm trying to get back into them. It's just, you know, I go into spurts. I read all of them. What the hell's her name? Afra Comics. I read all the Afra Comics, and one day, and then, well, and then the next day, read the rest of them before the book came out. But yeah, so I grabbed some other stuff to talk about, but it's already been 2 hours, and you know, there's not a lot going on. Patrick should have been on by now.
I think I froze for a second.
We're gonna do some psychology of Star Wars. But I was just gonna start doing a little bit of psychology of Star Wars because, you know, because Twitter is a cesspool, especially when it comes to Star Wars. And you know, I got into it, you know, and my whole point was someone said something about this Star Wars comic, and Patrick made a comment about it, and I liked Patrick's comment, and people started losing their shit because I liked it. And it's like, no, what you're saying that took place in the comic didn't take place in the comic. You're making that up. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to feel. You can feel however the fuck you want, but what you're saying happened did not happen. What happened, you can say what happened bothered you, but don't make shit up. And then it just turned on to this whole everybody, you know, blah, 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 and bullshit. And, you know, you can't tell a girl how to feel. I'm not telling anybody how to feel. But when somebody is just making up lies, complete, blatant lies for no reason, I mean, what's the reason? Why would you just make up complete lies? You either have an agenda or you want attention. I don't know what your agenda was, but, you know, I mean, that's just whatever. And, you know, then I just turned into whatever, and guys and blah, 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 and women are never like that. And it's like, dude, you know, and I was like, women can be just as toxic, especially to other women in the fandom if they don't agree with them. Look at what happened with Raylos to other Raylos. And then it turned into I hate Raylos. And then, you know, just more tension shit and whatever. But yeah, so I was going to start talking about some psychology. And, you know, trying to figure out, like, you know, what is this group mass cesspoolness going on? You know, and then it was even good too because I had people messaging me that didn't want to get involved in the drama, and they were like, "Well, you can't call it drama. You can't tell a woman she's being dramatic." Well, yeah, I can, dude. Like, that's the whole point of being equal. I can call you out on your shit. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. You can't tell me I can't call a girl out on her shit because she's a girl. You can't say because you've had something bad happen in your life, I can't call you out on something. You know, don't make it about your feelings and your trauma when it has absolutely nothing to do with that. And it has to do with you just making shit up blatantly. And that's what it all comes down to. And Patrick and I went through the video, or went through all 4 of the comics, and we went through the last comic, and we went through and we're like, I was joking about it. Patrick's like, here you go. I was like, wait, what about this and this and this? This is what Twitter told me happened. Twitter told me this happened. Twitter told me this happened. You know, and I was like, Twitter said this, nowhere does it happen. And then, of course, you know, everybody else is like, well, you can't. And then it just turned into, yeah, so it was just a big shit show and pissed off a bunch of people. I had a bunch of people that were friends unfollow me. I had a friend. I had a bunch of people that were hitting me up in DMs because they didn't want to get involved in the drama. Some people agreeing with me. Some people saying the same thing. You can't tell a woman she's wrong. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. You know, you're missing the point. It's not a feelings thing. It never was a feelings thing. I never said you can't feel this way. It's just that what you're saying happened never happened. So, you know, and this person who was one of my friends, or, you know, we had one of the conversations we had was actually the next day. She was like, well, you were being a bully. And I said, no, this person said this, 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 and this. This never happened. Well, she can feel how she wants to. Once again, it's nothing to do with feelings. It's the fact that you're saying that it was porn and she was beaten, and she was beaten until she died, and she was beaten so she would have a miscarriage. None of that was ever happened or said. She had a gun pointed at her, and then later on died in childbirth at a different time. Nothing to do with the other one. So all that other bullshit, whatever. But then I was the asshole for doing it, and it just, you know, got escalated, and, you know, to the point I was like, you're just doing it for attention. You wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't block me. And then when other people and your friends are arguing with me about it and completely missing the point, and then come back and unblock me just to say shit. If you block somebody, you block them, you're done. Why would you come back? It's all for attention. But I had one of our friends come into, send me a message in DM saying, well, you know, you were being a bully. And I said, no, this, and this is why this is what the whole point was. And they said, well, I guess I would have to go back and read the whole conversation. And I said, that you're part of the problem then. You're commenting on something you don't know. And that's not how it started. And then, yes, so you do have to go back and read it, but you can't read it when they delete their comments. So, you know, they can take screenshots of mine and completely misconstrued what I said. And when I say like the one thing I said, women can be very toxic to other women or something like that. I said some Raylos, and that turned into me hating all women and hating all Raylos.
Trust me, brother, I understand when people can take screenshots and then edit and remove comments and then take more screenshots and use them against you. You're preaching to the fucking choir.
Oh, I know. But no, I had you know, friends, people that are friends in like real life. They didn't ban me, but they unfriended me. And it's like, you know, because you're seeing something, you know, from 2 days later where it's like, you know, somebody saying you can't tell a woman how to feel. Nothing to do with telling a woman how to feel. Telling a woman don't make shit up obviously is wrong because you deserve a free pass for that for some reason. You know, you make up shit, and then when you get called out for making it up, say, well, I had trauma in my life. You can't say that to me. Sorry, you don't get a free pass for that shit, dude.
Everybody's had trauma. Every person. Well, here, how about this? Because I can't really say everybody. Every person who is of legal age to have a YouTube, to have a Twitter, to have whatever fucking social media account there is, they've gone through trauma. I can't say everybody because people who are not old enough to have such things may not have gone through trauma. But just because said person has suffered trauma, you can't say something to them. Because then I'm just going to turn around and say, well, you can't say nothing to me because I've been through trauma. You know what I mean? I can't say nothing to you because you've been through some kind of trauma in your life. You know? So where do we draw the line? Just because somebody wants to jump on their fucking pity train, charge that son of a bitch up, and start cruising around and causing all the hell they want to. And yeah, as soon as somebody fires back, oh, you can't say that to me because I'm excluded from having to deal with that kind of stuff because I suffered trauma. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like Dale said, where are they getting their information? That's where, Dale said, where are they getting their information from? They're getting the information from because somebody saw it and wasn't happy with it. So they post a picture of it on Twitter. And then somebody says, what was that from? And then they make up this fucking lie about it. This woman was tortured in this comic. Really? This Star Wars comic? They tortured this woman so that her baby would die? Oh my God, that's horrible. Because you know what? That is horrible. But you know what? You know what happened to her, Kylo? Someone pointed a gun at her, and the person that pointed a gun at her got shot and killed. Now, you want to tell me that the gun being pointed at her was traumatic or triggered you for some reason? Fine. That's your feeling. Be triggered. That bothered you. But don't make up the fact that she was beaten to the point till she died, which didn't happen, or that she was beaten so that, whatever. Like, that was just the whole thing. And no one seems to have a problem with that, except for me for calling that person out. And then I was like, listen, I didn't even get involved in the conversation. They came at me calling me an asshole and a dude bro and everything else. And then it was, oh, so now you're playing the victim? Explaining to you the facts isn't playing the victim. But,
Right. Right. But I don't get it, but
yeah, so it's like, well, it was just funny because it's like, now people and, my circle or my friend group that I have and, in real life when we get together have now, no one blocked me, but they unfriended me, which they unfriended me fine. That no big fucking deal. But how are they going to act? You know what I mean? Is it going to cause problems? And then I got to go and explain, like, when this other person said in the DMs, well, I guess I would have to go back and read the whole thing. I didn't read it. Well, then why are you commenting on it?
Right.
And it was just a big clusterfuck. But
I don't know.
Ords is here.
Oh my God. Some people.
And it's, I mean, whatever, dude. I did it to myself. I should have fucking, when they were like, did you mean to like this, you fucking asshole, dude, bro, whatever. It was just like, I should have just been like, I should have just not said anything, but be like, well, yeah, because it's right. None of this stuff ever happened. So whatever. Or, later on, but it's like, so, but then there was also a woman that got shot and a couple of pages later. And then why are you killing women in Star Wars when, we need women in Star Wars? It was just like, so then I have someone else explaining to me why they were upset that a woman got killed in Star Wars, and then dealing with this other thing too. So then they're two separate matters. So in this thread, I'm answering one person, 3 more messages come in, I'm answering the next person, but it looks like my answers go into that one that just came in. So it's all whatever. And then when you try to explain it to somebody again, it's like, oh, so you're playing the victim? There's no fucking victim here, dude. Like, why can't people have a conversation? And you're going to be there and be like, fuck you, you asshole, and be like, listen, if you're not going to be able to have an adult conversation, don't fucking do it. That's how I talk. Well, then I'm not going to talk to you about it.
How many women have died in Star Wars? how many, how many women have died in Star Wars?
Well, I mean, that's their point.
They're gonna bitch about a fucking comic book character. All right, it's a comic book character. It wasn't even portrayed by a real person.
But see, now this is one of the points. Women always die in Star Wars. So, Shmi dies, Padme dies, Vale dies, this person dies.
Dies. Yeah, I mean, okay, fine. How many of them died in?
But there's a reason. But there's a reason for it. Like it's for the plot. They're not just killing women to kill women.
Right.
And there's a lot of comic books that are out there and do that. What they call it, women in refrigerators. Because it started because it was quoted because somebody in one of the comic books, I think I could be completely wrong on this, but somebody kills a woman and puts her in a refrigerator, and I think that's how women in refrigerators started. The term or whatever, where a man kills a woman to further his plot, but it's an unnecessary killing of a woman. No, Padme dies because it's showing that Vader kills her, or it's also that maybe possibly Palpatine killed her and blames Vader for it. Whatever it is, besides the point, it's used to move the plot along. And then you have Anakin's mother dies. It's used to move the plot along in the story. Vale, I don't think they got Fanny Newton and said, you know what, we're going to kill you. I think what happened is they wrote this story for this lady, and then all of a sudden they get Fanny Newton to be that person. Well, because you get this actor that the fans like, are you going to change the movie around for it? No. It's like, that was my question that I asked in one of the chats. I said, does it matter if, did they kill her because it was a woman, or, that it was her character and that's just how it ends up being, and they killed her? They're like, no, it doesn't matter. They kill the woman. That's all there is. And it's just like, see, I don't understand that, because if you're talking about like in Solo and, to move the story along, him and his partner, and they decided to make it, instead of being like a business partner that gives his life, it's his, girlfriend or wife or whatever the hell you want to call it, which is more impactful than just being a friend. You know what I mean? If me and you are in the movie and you give your life so that I can keep going, like, yeah, my buddy did it. If it's me and Danielle, and Danielle gives her life so I can keep going, it means more, because it's it's a different relationship. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, do I wish we would have got more of Vale? Do I wish we would have got more of Tandy Newton? Yeah, but I don't think they got Tandy Newton and said, okay, let's write a story for her and whatever. It's like, hang on, we have this part. Who can play it? Oh, yeah, sure. Come on, play the part. So, I mean, I think that's where the difference is.
Right.
If they did say, let's get Tandy Newton to play this part so we can kill her, then that's fucked up. But, just to be like, okay, let's rearrange this movie because we like this actor. And if they can, they usually try and do it or do something, but when it's going to really change the movie, or, I don't know. And then once again, like with that, did Lord and Miller decide to do that? And then what if Ron Howard wanted to change it, but she's got a conflict because she's shooting another movie? That's what Dryden Voss was supposed to be. Who's that black guy with the $150? He was in The Wire. I think it was in Oz. I forget his name, but he was supposed to be Dryden Voss, and I don't know if he had filmed Dryden Voss or if he was supposed to be Dryden Voss, but then with whatever happened and they had to change scheduling, he couldn't do it anymore. So they had to go with whatever the hell his name is, Paul is whatever. But yeah, so that's what that was. That was my other day from you know, I don't know, I think I streamed, I think I did some of my book, like 4 or 5 pages of the VD, and then it was just like, oh yeah, this is a good point. Like, and then it went to, you know, just downhill from there. And, you know, I'm sure if someone did come in the middle of conversation and see how I have 10 people yelling at me, they'd probably think, gee, he did something wrong. Why else would this mob be after him? But then to sit there and make comments, especially when you know me personally, and, you know, these other people don't, well, except for, you know, one of them. But yeah, it's just, you know, like the whole thing is, like, that was what the whole thing, you know, you don't get a free pass because you're a genitalia. You don't get a free pass because you know, you have trauma. We all have trauma. Some of it's worse than others, but then again, you know, some people deal with it better. You know, somebody could have their dog die and it could make them be depressed for the rest of their life because that was their dog. You know, are their feelings valid? Yes. Are they logical? No. You know, somebody else could have had their entire family wiped out by a militia and have to sit there and watch. And you know what? They're a stronger person, so they can hold it together better. You know, everybody's different. Everything affects everybody differently. So everybody's emotions and feelings are valid. That doesn't mean they're rational, and that doesn't mean they're healthy. But yeah, I think I'm done. Although I did ask a few people to come on here and talk about it tonight, and they told me no. So okay, you know, because it wasn't a safe place. So okay, there's girls on here all the time, but whatevs, dude. You know.
Yeah, there's always girls. I mean, there's girls in the chat all the time. I didn't even. Where's I haven't seen any tonight though. I mean, besides Christina, I haven't seen any of the normal group. I haven't seen Vader's girl at all tonight because I noticed she's been very frequent lately.
I saw her in the stream before this. But yeah. Yeah, there's a couple other ones, but you know, they're in and out or whatever. And Dale said already, well, the internet isn't a safe place. But
Internet's never been a safe place, but
yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I think I'm just gonna go bite the bullet and fucking get that computer. Just switch it over. It's like, you know, I had a nice run with the other one. I had it for a year, and then haven't had a computer for 2 months, but now get the warranty on it again for another year. So it could be worse. I think once I get it and then get the warranty, I'll still have a few dollars left over. Which that can go to buy me a wireless keyboard for my iPad. That's the other thing too. My buddy works for Apple, or used to, and he said that for school, at school time, iPads always go on sale. All Apple products go on sale. So I've been waiting to get my iPad to save a couple $100 on it. Like he said that the prices change, and the chick from Best Buy yesterday told me that when they go on sale, it's never more than $50 or $100. And right now the student discount, I can get $50 off. So she said there's no reason to wait for it because the discount, you either take your student discount or the regular sale discount. And she said it's going to be the same. I don't know. But I'll figure it out. I'll probably just fucking say whatever, dude, and just fucking do it. But yeah, man. I don't know who else we got left in the chat. We got Ords and Dale.
Let's see if I can go in there without.
I think Christina went to bed.
Yeah, Christina, she's having a rough time. I think she probably went to bed.
She wet the bed.
I said I think she went to bed. She's having a rough night.
Oh, I thought you said she went to bed. She looked like she was having fun. I don't know what she was doing that whole time, but she sure was smiling.
Oh man, she's green screening Kylo Ren in and all that shit. I was just glad she didn't bring in her little Yoda and Vader that she said she's bringing.
Yeah, she told me she was bringing her toys in today to show us, and I was like, I don't even think that was the first septic tank, was it?
When she talked about it, when she's showing us pictures, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because there's a lot of toy talk.
Yep. Well, I know there was the other one with Ross, that he was very candid and asked me not to share that one.
I think that one was like the second one because he came in after the first one. The first one was just.
That wasn't even a septic tank. That was a holocron house. Because we were going over the book, and that's how it started. Because he said, "Hey, I know about that. I'm in that book." And I was like, "Okay, come on." Other people were like, "Is he really telling the truth? Was he?" I was like, "Well, we'll find out." And they're like, we have to research it." And I was like, "Well, I mean, like everybody's welcome to come on here. And if the guy's a liar, we just kick him out. That's not like."
No, I mean, I can see where some people would be somewhat skeptical about it, but I mean, he's legit. Some people, because underneath that costume, you don't know who's underneath that costume.
No, I understand that, but if somebody, especially on, it seems like on Facebook, I believe him more than on like Twitter or YouTube, and that's where he was coming from, was Facebook. Because he was friends with me on Facebook. We just never really, we were friends because we both like Star Wars, but never talked about the fact that he was in Star Wars movies. Until he saw me going through the book, and he's like, "Hey, that's a picture of me." Or, well, it wasn't a picture of him, but he, "Hey, I know about that. I worked on that movie."
I like him. He's a good dude, but I have lost contact with him as well. So
yeah, I haven't talked to him.
It is what it is. I know why I lost contact, and I'm pretty sure it's the same reason you did too.
Yep. But all right, people. That's gonna do it for tonight. Boards, thanks for stopping by, man. I got to check and make sure I got you I know I subscribed to you. I thought I had you. I thought I had the bell for you, but I never seem to see your streams on. I'll have to check that out. But all right, everyone. With that, have a good day. May the force be with you always.